rock the big stage and roll the boardroom, but life behind the scenes, that's a whole new game. Welcome to our world, we are big bosses.
Alright, good day ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Connectnigeria TV. Razy is in the house today. Amazing time, man, trust me. I always love it when I hook up with great personalities, people who have changed the world in their own way, alright? Because the truth is, you start from your environment and start from your area, start from your, whatever it is you want to start from. But the truth is, do something positive and change your environment. Before you know it, man, you're changing the world just like that, alright? And you never know how heavy the impact is. All right, with people like us, we appreciate and bring those kind of people to your faces. All right, and today I want to go on and start talking about this man. I just call him a great man. One word, just so I don't take all your time, all right? Because there's too many adjectives I can use to describe him. But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Steve Babaeko is in the house. How's it going, boss?
Good, man. Good. Nice to have you here.
Nice to be with you, man. It's really a pleasure because we're thinking about it, right? Trying to motivate, trying to inspire people, and only a few people come to mind when you talk about hard work and doing great things, doing extraordinary things, all right, and building great empires. And we just said, hey, we need to have you on, all right. So tell us about your brand, X3M Ideas, X3M Group. We need to understand, because I know a lot, but at least for the people watching, what's X3M all about?
Well, X3M started actually we're going to be 3 years old, August 1.
Oh, great. Perfect timing.
August 1 on Saturday.
Okay.
It's going down, we're going to be 3 years old. But I mean, it's just a dream we had, just to set up. I've been in advertising. In September, it's going to be 20 years.
Wow.
Working in advertising. Then all this while, we've worked with other brands. From Primo Garnet to MC and Sachi.
Wow.
And last 7 years of my life I spent with 141 as the pioneer creative director of 141.
Wow.
And then August 1, 2012, we decided to aggregate all these experiences we had gathered working for other people to now work for ourselves, and we set up X3M Ideas, which is a marketing communication firm. But under the X3M Group, you have other subsidiary companies as well.
Exactly.
So apart from X3M Ideas, which is the advertising agency, you have X3M Music that houses Praise, Simi and Sammy, That′s, and a couple of other people.
Familiar names, man. Those are my people.
And then you have 0 Degrees, which is a production company. Actually, this studio is a facility under 0 Degrees. So we do production, both audio and audiovisual production.
Wow, amazing.
And we're still adding a couple of companies coming on stream.
So basically, it's like a conglomerate, man. That's almost what it is.
You guys respect my conglomerate.
Like Buster said. Okay,
Grow your business fast. Log on to Connectnigeria.com.
But I mean, this is really big. And how did you conceive this? And then this is 3 years already.
Sure.
I'd say it's achieved a lot for a 3-year-old brand. But then I'm sure the dream or the idea, you conceived that a long time ago, right?
Actually, X3M Music is actually the oldest of all the companies, because I set that up maybe in 2008.
Oh, okay, word.
We worked with Bantu. We did this joint venture agreement with Bantu. He just came back from Germany. Then we signed the management contract with NECA.
Super talented.
We signed etc. We signed a couple of other acts back in the days.
Wow. Yeah.
But all this while, I was funding X3M Music with my salary that was earned from advertising, actually. All this while, I was funding X3M Music with my salary that was earned from advertising, actually. Until now that the company is independent, has a totally new, different head running the company now. Because we have to diversify and empower other people to carry on where we started from.
Wow, you just said something really important, and I'd like to point that out. You had a dream. And you gave birth to something very creative and innovative. Now you were funding it with salaries you were earning from working for other people. Now because the truth is, a lot of people want to do things, right? They don't even know where to start from. The ideas are there, the energy is there, but then you have the factors. They say the country is really terrible right now, economic meltdown. What would you say to a young man who's there and all he has is a naira and a dream?
I promise you, money is always going to be an issue, right? Because, I mean, even right here where we stand today, if you ask Dangote, I'm sure he still probably tells you this big idea he wants to expand beyond even Africa and take over the entire cement business in Europe and America. I mean, he probably has that kind of dream, right?
Sure.
And he's going to need money to fund
do that.
So money, even for the richest of men, will still always be a challenge, right? But then you don't roll over and die because money is a challenge, because that challenge is a constant factor in life.
Okay.
But I think the biggest thing is your idea and how passionate you are about your ideas.
Okay.
Sometimes I think it's my own personal belief that if you want it so badly, the supernatural forces are going to align and make it happen for you, because that's the only thing you think about. And you consciously and unconsciously, you're driven to want to make it happen.
Okay.
I mean, I remember when we designed this X3M logo.
Okay.
It was my screensaver for 2 years before we even set up X3M Music.
Wow.
That was everything I switched on my laptop. That's the first thing I see, because and it was on my mind. You know, I knew it had to happen.
Yeah.
I wanted it to happen. I gravitated towards everything that would allow it to happen. Eventually it happened. You know what I'm saying? So for young people out there, it's all in the mind. You can't give it up.
No, okay.
You can't give it up, because your dream is probably the most precious item God has given you, and you have to make it happen.
All right. So now let's talk about the business. Now that's also actually a very important aspect. I just had to put that out there because I mean I never thought about that angle, because a lot of people say, hey, I'm trying to get loans, nothing is forthcoming, nobody wants to help. All the businessmen are greedy, all the investors in quote are greedy, and you know all that stuff. So now you know the passion really drives you, and then if you are really into it, if you really love your dream, like you said, the supernatural forces will make it happen. Now, so let's talk about the business angle. Let me start with the one a lot of people can relate with, which is of course the advertising and communication and the music aspect. Now, talk about the music. How's it been? And there's something I've noticed, right?
Yeah.
I've noticed that the kind of artists that your brand has always been affiliated with are different artists, not the regular. And that gave me great joy right from the start, you know, right from the days of Overdose, like you mentioned, Neka. I mean, it's not the regular, you know, kind of sounds that we're used to that they put out, which is good. They put out quality music, great music, top-notch production. Now, there's also the issue of the Nigerian entertainment factor. If it's not the regular stuff that they like, it might not be as commercially viable as the other guy. So why did you decide to, I mean, you and your team fish for these very talented guys, having in the back of your mind that you might not, you know, be able to compete with the other very, very regular guys in quotes, so to say?
Well, I mean, for a couple of reasons, I'll talk to you about the most important one. As a person, one of the things that drives me in my life is just that quest to be different. You might not like my work, but I'll feel offended if you don't acknowledge that my work is different.
Different, true.
So whether it's advertising, whether it's music, I really don't care. As far as creativity goes, and if you settle down to think about it for a second, and it will make absolute sense to you. In a society where everybody is shouting, the guy that comes into that circle and says it's going to get attention, right? So he might not make all the money in the world by sounding different, but he will get attention. And from day one, music for me is a passion. Music is an art. I mean, it's good to like commercialize it and make money. I mean, shout out to all the people making big money doing music. I mean, I have no problem with that. But for me, I look at the art first. I want history to remember us. In 20 years' time, people chronicle the music journey that happened in Nigeria for within that period, past 20 years. And some people will single out a collective of artists and say, you mean there was some set of knuckleheads artists who defied the forces of sound and gravity in Nigeria to do this kind of music? I mean, that for me would have been more than payback. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's that art part. And if you come to think of it, now we're turning the curve now in the music scene. Because if an artist like Simi, Simi was number 5 on MTV-based top 10
Oh, wow.
that showed this morning.
Oh, wow.
So
Great.
she's getting critical
Great.
acclaim already, and
That's
she's
good
just a
buzz,
new
yeah.
artist.
Yeah.
Praise is even getting paid. You know what I'm
True,
saying? So
true.
I mean, he has endorsement. He has every other thing that all the mainstream artists have.
have
So
as well, yeah.
it means that you can still sound different
And
and
do
still
quality stuff.
be able to do quality stuff and still make money at the same time. So yeah.
Do you want to rent, lease, or buy a house? Log on to Connectnigeria.com.
All right, now you have been able to pull this off. There are a lot of people who also want to pull this off, but cannot quite because of the way the industry is fashioned now, structure-wise.
Yeah.
In terms of distribution,
Sure.
investors or record labels getting returns and the artists also getting returns. What would you say can be done in the Nigerian industry so that we will have an industry per se? Because right now we have an industry. I mean, it's good. People get shows and get, but I mean, an artist should be able to put out an album if it moves 2 million units. And we should be able to account for the money, and then at the end of the day, everybody smiles, right?
Yeah.
The government smiles, the artist smiles, the record label owner smiles, the directors, and all that. So, what do you think should be done right now in the industry, structure-wise?
Well, a couple of things. I think investment-wise, I think we need to still this in the industry. Our so-called industry needs to be viable enough to be able to attract foreign funding that will come in, maybe private, all those angel investors who might want to invest in. But you see, they're not going to come until they see the structure on the ground. I mean, distribution, for example. If
very important.
If I have that kind of money, I'll invest in it because see, the person who is able to crack the distribution challenge we have with facing the music industry in Nigeria is already a multi-billionaire.
Right.
I promise you, because see, right now we put out 2 double albums for Praise. We can't even trace how much sales we have or whatever, apart from the ones that we're selling on iTunes and the other online download platforms. So that for example is a challenge that needs to be sorted out. Distribution, piracy. It's there,
another factor.
But I'm really glad that the new President Buhari has already started talking about it, wanting to like align forces with other law enforcement agencies to make sure that they rescue the Nigerian music. It's a good starting point. I hope he is able to keep it up and keep it as a front burner agenda, because see, the creative industry in Nigeria, that's where the youths, everybody knows that the average unemployment rate, I mean, there's a statistics I saw sometime that says every year this country produces close to 2 million people, young people, added into the Nigerian labor scene. So, and we're not talking about the backlog of the millions of young people who are without job before this 2 million came in.
Exactly.
So, and year upon year, we're building up this. But if you look at what's happening in the Middle East, where all the uprising happening because a lot of young people have no job, you see that the government really needs to take this issue of piracy more seriously, because some of us who are investing our own private fund into this thing needs to be able to get the return so that we can continue to empower more young people like Praise, people like Simi. They can never be armed robbers ever again. People like Whiskey, Davido, these are already made young men, all because of this industry. So if you know the importance of this industry,
so if more is done, basically we'll be able
to create more Davidos, more Whiskies, more Praise, more Simis, and it's the multiplier effect. I mean, these guys are they are big people in their own little space, and in their own little space they are empowering maybe 20, 30 other more young people who are just hanging on following them. Those, you've taken those ones out of the street, they are not going to be able to do anything more damaging to the society. So if you look at it, it's an industry that the government needs to pay more attention to. So I'm hoping that all of these things will come together and we'll have a much more
Locate the best restaurants near you. Log on to Connect Nigeria.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you're still watching Connect Nigeria TV. Mr. Steve dropping real knowledge right here. I mean, I'm learning a lot myself, getting inspired too, getting all fired up how to do a lot. So, on the final note, let's bring it back to X3M and you know your brand.
Sure.
Let's talk about the future for X3M. Even though you already hinted that there'll be more things coming. You know, apart from the music and the advertising, communication. What's the future like for X3M, and how do you intend to empower more people with your great brand?
Well, I mean, currently now we hire close to about 70 young people.
Wow.
Across all our
Platforms.
different platforms. You know, we intend to do more. I mean, the thing is, every entrepreneur in this country needs to like be much more focused on creating jobs. It breaks my heart when you go out on the street and you just see young people not doing anything. You know, and the dream I've always had is to build this place where you just see young people running up and down and really getting busy and earning and earning good income. You know, and that's what we're going to do a lot more of. So I'm really passionate about the job creation aspect of the opportunity and the platform that we have. That's one. Secondly, a couple of more companies are going to come on stream. We have just registered a research company called Radar. So it's going to be doing a lot of research for marketing communication and the marketing space.
Wow, it's great stuff, man.
We have Plus 234 Communication coming on stream. It's a PR firm that's going to complement. So you see, at the end of the day, we're creating a communication group that's like a one-stop shop for anything communication. You know, I mean, music is always going to be part of communication.
Of course.
You know, when you talk about creating ideas and creating concepts, advertising is always going to be part of it. And I think in the next 3 to 4 years, part of the big plan is to be able to like branch out into West Africa. You know, because that's where most of our clients are heading. We have to really be silly not to be able to follow the full part of our clients to be able to service them, be it in Togo, be it in
Ghana,
or Gambia or whatever the case may be. So we're in serious talk with a couple of smaller agencies there. We might do a merger, we might do outright buy over whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, the dream is real and we're just pushing it.
Amazing. So sir, before we let you go, you already talked about a lot, man. This has been absolutely amazing, very comprehensive too. A very inspiring session, if you ask me. So on the final note, what would you just like to say to everybody watching this interview, from those who've gotten inspired and those who are learning, those who have challenges, who don't even know the next step to take? But give them your word, you know. It's kind of like reassuring them, because I know how that feels. I mean, I've been through that stage at some point in my life. So sometimes, man, you just want to drop everything and say, man, I can't do this anymore. It's that should you give in?
It's a very costly alternative. I mean, if somebody once said that if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. So if you think success is too difficult to achieve, try being a failure. You know what I'm saying? And every one of us, the guys who are successful out there that we all aspire to be like, they don't have two heads.
And they all start
if they all tell you their story, you see how difficult it was climbing that ladder of success. And to be honest with you, even becoming successful is not the problem. Staying successful is the hard work. You see, you think you're going through hustle just trying to be successful. Wait till you get successful and see how much hustle you need to do to just keep it there, because it's even worse to have once been successful and you fall off.
True.
So you know what I'm saying? So
everybody
is under pressure. Your pressure is not bigger than everybody else. Like I tell people my story to inspire them, and I know my story is not the most important story in Lagos or whatever, but I mean,
but it goes a long way.
I came here with nothing.
Wow.
And we're still here, and we'll keep striving to become better. Every day I wake up and say, okay, look, God, I thank you for what you have helped me to achieve today, but I want to do more tomorrow. It keeps me on my grind, and I keep striving. So that's the same thing I have to say to anybody out there. You know, I mean, if you look, we're all shouting the Apple, Steve Jobs today. The guy was hustling. He started in his garage.
Sure.
Rolled up his sleeve, built the first model of the computer, built the company to a point, got kicked out of that company.
Imagine.
His own company. They had to bring him back. So you see, everybody has a story. I mean, I look personally. I look up to the Dangotes of this world and all of those people, but I know they have their own story to tell. And
absolutely.
when I see him striving, he's done everything he's done in Nigeria as far as cement or whatever is concerned. He's moved into West Africa. That's inspiring.
Very
The
inspiring.
guy's going all over Africa, doing great stuff. So why? If Dangote has not stopped hustling, because it's some kind of hustle, it's just that his own hustle is like in cyberspace somewhere, you know,
a different level
compared to mine, you know what I'm saying?
True,
But I keep looking up to him, still wanting to do the same thing. The thing is that keep it positive, keep the energy great. Don't feel like, oh, you've arrived, because you never in life. It's a long journey. You never truly arrive. You know what I'm saying?
You just have to keep going.
You have to keep it going.
Wow,
Keep
great,
it going,
great, man. Once again, big thank you for coming on the show. So I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Congratulations on your anniversary.
Thank you.
Keep in touch.
Thank you.
Probably come and celebrate with your team as well.
That was fantastic.
All right, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, Mr. Steve Babaeko. Amazing session, man. This is what I love. Absolutely inspiring. I'm sure you all have picked one or two things. Just like he said, man, just keep going. It never stops as long as you are alive, right? Keep watching Connect Nigeria TV. Razy signing out on behalf of my whole crew, Emmanuel, and the rest of the people. Y'all have a good time.
We rock the big stage and roll the boardroom, but life behind the scenes, that's a whole new game. Welcome to our world, we are big bosses.
Looking for the best events? Log on to Connectnigeria.com.